everybody, it's me, Jen, your Pudgy Picker, and yes, I am doing a voiceover. You guys have been requesting this for so long, and I'm finally back to doing the ride-alongs with my new editor, Erin. Hi, Erin. So I'm just going to walk through and show you my reasoning on why I'm picking up certain things, or if I pick something up like that and put it back down, you'll know why. That was some kind of grow kit. I'm not sure what that was. I've been seeing those around. So, with the music issues I've had in this store, it is best if I just do a voiceover. I know some people have said, well, why do you even shop there then if the volume, it's 50% off, people. I have to be there on Monday. So again, this is my first place that I go to. And I don't know, it's so funny because a lot of times I just pick stuff up and I look at it. Not because I necessarily want it, it's because I just don't know exactly what it is, and I'm nosy, and I need to look. So, yeah, I think I ended up getting this bunny. I'm going to be putting out spring items in my booth soon, so yeah, that's definitely going to be picking up some of those items. And this is one of my regular ladies. She's so funny. She'll find stuff in the store and actually give it to me and say, here, do you want to sell this? So she's pretty awesome. She brought those over and was asking me if I wanted them. And I said, no, I'm not sure what I would do with those. So she'll take them back, or I'll put them back. I don't know. So I don't know what was with this carved lion, but his mouth was huge. So, yeah, a lot of knickknacks and some dolls and things in this first aisle. And on the right side is where the all of the jewelry is. Didn't really see any jewelry jars this time. I don't know. They usually always have jewelry jars, but a lot of times they're like the plastic beads or, the plastic, bracelets and stuff. So yeah, that's that mom plus dad equals me. That one was pretty scratched up. I just recently sold one of those on eBay. The last one I picked up here at the thrift store, you'll probably remember. And then this aisle has a lot of candles, candle holders, and then on the right side it has a lot of vases and baskets and also fake greenery. You're going to see items that I pick up. These were so fragile. I was absolutely freaked out about even handling them. And as you notice toward the end, spoiler alert, I did put them back because I thought there's no way these are going to survive. And they were pretty expensive. 2 of them were $9.99 each, and I think 2 of them were $8.99. I don't even know what they're for. They're just, I guess, for decoration. So yeah, I walked around with them in my cart, and then when I went to check out, I said, nah. So I mean, it is half price day. It would have been $5 and $4.50, but I don't know. When it's kind of a really unique item like that, I'm not sure how many people would be interested. I had some really pretty vases there too. That one wasn't cheap. That big round one was kind of expensive. And lots of fake greenery. Sometimes you can find a gem in those. I don't know. I've been finding a lot of pumpkins, it seems, recently. So I did purchase that one. I'm sorry if I'm still stuffy. Still getting over being sick. So there's Rosa. She's so sweet too. She's a little thing. It's funny that we got the same core 6 to 8 people that are there every week. Now, when I come into this place, there's probably a good 12 to 15 people waiting to get in. As you can see, it's still dark outside. They open at 7. The second one that I go to opens at 9. And there is between 35 and 40 people waiting to get in there. And there's been issues with people pushing and shoving at that one and dropping F-bombs and threatening one another. It's a little scary. This aisle has a lot of picture frames, photo albums, and then toward the end has office items. And then this left side has a lot of metal stuff, decor, trays, etc. I don't know if I really found anything in it this time. I'm doing this voiceover a few days after this, and I kind of forgot. So I hope you guys like listening to me talk, because I'm going to be doing a lot of talking during this one. So yeah, they had it was like a jewelry tree, but it was like made out of chicken wire, and I don't know. This was kind of interesting too. I think somebody was trying to do kind of a country theme with the mason jars there. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm always picking up any of these carved animals. That one I think was like $3.50. Yeah, you'll see the haul of what I actually got. I'll put that out on Wednesday. But any of those animals seem to do really well. That, spoiler alert, I bought it and it did not work. Part of the cord was melted, so I'm going to be taking that back next week. It is a Himalayan salt. And then that fleur-de-lis had a huge crack, missing part of it. I'm not sure if that got cracked on the floor or if somebody actually, donated it that way. I kind of doubt it would have made it to the floor. I don't know. Usually if I find any old stationery, this is the area where I find it, because that's where they would put it. This has got little organizers for your desk, and staples and staplers and pens and notebook paper, notebooks, spiral bound, that kind of thing. I always look there because I'm always using things like that for my business. So yeah. I think that was like a tablet cover. I know sometimes I pick things up, and when I was doing these videos previously, people were like, why did you put that back down? So if I see something and I tell you there's an issue with it, you'll kind of know, because I go pretty fast in here, so you can't always tell. You can't always tell, the condition of something as fast as I go. These were kind of weird. It was like a little test tube stand, and then the test tubes were like push pins and paper clips and stuff.
Hey, how you doing?
Saying hey to somebody.
Make an appearance. I got my camera again.
Oh, this one guy always stops into my videos. If you remember a while ago, it was a younger guy that jumped on my cart while I was pushing it. That was him. And he's like, hey, you got your camera. In fact, I think this week what he did is he had a coffee he brought in with him, and he was looking at something and bent over, and it spilled all over the floor, and he went to find somebody to mop it up. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he told me, I just leaned over and it poured all over the floor. Yeah. Oh, well. I've done that before. Like in my booth, I've had something that had like a glass insert for like a candle, and I bend over and in my booth and it hits the floor, so. Yeah, lots of pumpkins. It was hard to think about fall when it's cold outside, but that one was kind of pretty. It had burlap and stuff on it, but it was kind of torn up a little bit. I don't know, it's funny when I'm in here, I just get used to going at such a certain pace that I kind of forget you guys are looking and you want to see something or what the price is, because I kind of forget that the GoPro is there. There's a lot of letters on stuff. I think these were from like a craft store. Yeah. I don't know. I've had a lot of art on my walls that hasn't been selling really well at my booth, so I've kind of been marking the stuff down just to kind of get it moving. This was a little thing I got from Tumbleweed Pottery. It says something about, well, you'll see it on Wednesday. I shouldn't spoil it for you. And that was hand painted, actually, which was kind of cool. So,
She'll be back. She went to clean up something.
yeah, somebody was over there, kept ringing the bell at the jewelry counter, and she's the one that went over to clean up. So that's why I said she'll be back in a minute. She went to clean up somebody's coffee they spilled. Now this area has some kitchen-y items, but I do find some pottery in here that I do use for my Lucky Bamboo. So this is mainly dishes, and I don't know, I don't usually spend too much time in this area because dishes just don't seem to do very well in my booth. I was really eyeballing this dish that had birds on it and decided to put it back. It was very cute though. Yeah, if you got like casserole dishes or soup tureens, all that stuff is in this out. That is so pretty. It was a hand-blown piece of glass. All I know it was pretty. I just so don't know about glass. This has got mugs and drinking glasses. I usually kind of skate through this aisle pretty quick. Plus, if there's any dish sets, they're on this end of the aisle as well. It's funny, you notice every week I go the same route. I just do that when I am in a store more than once or twice. I go the same route just because I know what I'm looking for and I know where to find things and I don't want to miss anything. Yeah, this particular store, usually if they have salt and pepper shakers, they wrap them up and put them in the bags on the wall. The second one I go to, they don't usually wrap up their salt and pepper shakers. I don't know. You know, each store has its own way of doing things and its own personality, so you get to know that after you've been to a couple of them. I have 3 savers in my area and only hit 2 on Monday. The other one is by my daughter's house, so I don't usually get out there that much. That was like a gold thing with a fish. I don't know who that would appeal to, but I said, no, I'm not going to get that. Now this aisle says housewares. This has like baking dishes, pans, butcher blocks, cookie jars, any kind of baking items, cutting boards, salad spinners, and then the other half of the aisle has a lot of plasticware, which I don't ever really buy, even for myself. If I'm going to buy plastic reusable containers, I usually buy them new. But if you're going to find vintage Tupperware or anything, this is the aisle you'll find it. Also mason jars, that kind of thing you'll find in this aisle as well. Also colanders, you can find colanders. You know, I've toyed with the idea of some of these, I think that was Pier 1, to get some of these solid wood cutting boards and sand them down really good and then, you know, like retreat the surface. I'm thinking about maybe trying that with a couple of those because they are solid wood. They will clean up if you sand them down a little bit. I don't think that one was probably like $6.99 or something, so it would have been pretty cheap, half price. So this aisle I go through pretty fast. It does have cooking pans, small appliances, coffee makers, that kind of thing. And I don't ever really buy anything like that for resale. But I do glance. This has irons, rice cookers, any kind of small lamps, that type of thing. And I think on the end of this aisle is where the clocks are. So I'm always looking for clocks. It's funny, there's an elderly gentleman. In fact, I think you can see him there in the background. I always talk to him. He says, I can't stop buying clocks. I love buying clocks. So, I mean, if it's something pretty old or intricate, he will purchase them. Yeah, that's him. But if it's something, cute or cheapy or new production, that's usually what I'm interested in. This is when I found out that this clock opened, and I was so enamored with it. I am a very simple person, and things like that really do impress me. Isn't that funny? Just stuff like that really just interests me, and I'm not sure why that is. And then some of those ones that look like they're wood, they're actually plastic. They have that wood look. I don't know. That was cute, but they wanted too much for it. I think they had like $16.99 or something. And I was like, it was metal, but I just decided that was just too much money. And I picked this up just to show you guys because I thought it was interesting. It's a CD. A little thumbs up there. Yeah. So that's usually where I always look for that. And then I go backwards and start on the wall. And they have utensils. They have office and pet supplies and kitchenware and home decor. So this is one area that, I don't know, you can spend some time there and sometimes it's just not worth it. So, I don't know. I kind of just glance. But again, this is a lot of stuff that you can use for your office. If you're going to find staples or like you see a calculator or glue sticks, there's just ink, all kinds of stuff to be found there. And I do regularly pick up things for my business because everybody needs those supplies, Yeah, I think that's a candle holder. I'm just kind of surprised they put that in a bag. Looks like my basket's getting full. I used to, in this thrift store, kind of rush to the back to see if they had anything in the furniture area. And I just have a certain amount of small or even larger items go out to my booth. So I'm just not really in a rush to get back there. I'll look when I go back, but always looking at the candles. I have so many candles that I need to use up. So, tell me in the comments, what do you guys come across that you're always like, you end up trying to buy or you want to buy, but you tell yourself not to get it? Because candles are one of my things. I buy a lot of votive candles and tea lights because those are the things that I use in my house, as well as some 3 wicks. Yeah, see, these are all the salt and pepper shakers are in this area. Some things I don't understand is a lot of the bags get torn open when they have a box, and the box is closed. Nobody knows what it is, and they just put it in a bag and put a price on it. And it's like, people are going to tear those open if they can't tell what's in the box. Fold the lid back and then put it in the plastic bag so at least people can see what's in there. Now, this area here has a lot of craft items. If there's any craft kits, yarn, that kind of thing, this is where you will find it. These bins just get so full of stuff, you have to kind of dig. Yeah, I pick up stuff and I play with it and I'm like, put that down. You're not buying it. Just move along. There's also hangers, that kind of thing, if you need that there. That's another thing I always look at is the vase fillers. It's like, put it down. This is those stick-on letters that you can buy and put up on your wall. And the tube was empty. So I'm not sure why they put that out. This area has magazines. A lot of the top ones will have larger, like coffee table style books. Up top, art, I guess. That was kind of cool. It was looked like an olive oil bottle that was flattened. This is like toothbrushes, personal care items, curlers, tissue box lid, covers, little kits that have smelly stuff in it. And there's my clock guy. And then you usually look up in these baskets, because if I'm going to find any kind of, vintage sheets or pillowcases or that kind of thing, that's usually where I find them. Also up there you find new packaged, like, curtains. I happened to find a Vera Bradley little wallet there. Not sure how that got over there. I think a lot of people just kind of decide to get something, and then as they're walking around, they just take it and say, nah, I'm not going to get that. So here I'm heading to the back. Back here's got sports equipment, small electronics, lights, lamps, lanterns that go on the wall, larger art, that kind of thing. I'm always looking at lampshades and lamps. You never know what you're going to find back here. Even the larger pieces of art are not that expensive, quite honestly. It's pretty cheap. These are kind of nice. They're like an acrylic, but they were just so loosey-goosey. It was like, I don't know. There was two of them, and I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I just don't buy a lampshade unless I'm sure it's going to sell, or a lamp to fit it on. And if I buy one and not the other, it just, I don't know. I got such a buildup of lamps and lampshades that didn't match. It was too much. They also have an area back here where you can plug stuff in. There's a Polaroid camera. Hey, if you didn't know, Polaroid cameras are selling even better now because they are making the film for them again. So keep that in mind. If you find some Polaroids, I should have picked that up, but I didn't know. I just learned that because I was working at my store where I have my booth, and people were buying Polaroid cameras left and right. So there's a big roll of fabric there, but nothing impressive. Back here's where you find your furniture and those kind of items, large or bulky items. And then over here is where the fabric is. I don't really have any competition for fabric at the second place, or this place. The second place, there's a lot of competition for the fabric. So when I get done with a lot of the fabric I have ready to go out to my booth that I got at an auction, I'm going to be racing back there again to the second place and picking up the fabric. They have a better selection, it seems, there. Back here also, too, they have larger bags, computer bags, luggage, garment bags. You name it, it's right back here in this corner. And then back here they usually have more furniture and more art up top. I don't know. I look at things, and if it's kind of damaged, scratched up, or it needs some kind of attention, I just have only so many hours in a day and so many projects I already have to do. Back here you got gloves, hats, scarves, wigs, socks, pantyhose, hats. There's Rosa. She's so sweet. I was teasing her. She didn't have much in her. So, of course, I had to show off my cool clock that had the opening in it because I told you I'm just so fascinated with it. She's like, ooh, that's really cool. Oh, so yeah, like I said, hats, socks, scarves, belts, that kind of thing. So I just kind of follow along the back wall here. And once you go around the corner, you got more kids and baby items, blankets, baby things, stuffed animals. Back here is games and toys. I just kind of glance at those. I don't think I really know enough about toys. If I see something that's older in cool condition, I'll research it. But usually just kind of glance through this area. And again, like I said, puzzles, games. Always looking for Yahtzee games. I did look at that one and I picked up the box and it was pretty light, so it probably didn't have anything in it. And then along this back wall you have dolls and little cars, all kinds of kid toys, cards, flashcards, little stuffed animals. And then, of course, we have the bags and purses. I always kind of glance back here to see if there's anything worth scooping up. I have so many purses to list, but I cannot stop looking for them because, you're just going to find that gem one of these days. This place for the longest time was having really expensive prices on their Vera Bradley. And then it kind of went down again, so it was reasonable. And then there was a few... there was a kid screaming this last part of this video. I'm so sad you don't get to hear it. He was not having it. I think his mom had him in the changing area or in the change rooms there, and she was trying on stuff and he didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Yeah, he was screaming. I don't miss those days at all. So yeah, I looked at the Vera Bradley and it was in pretty good condition and the price was pretty reasonable. There's still a few higher ones that are left over from when they were pricing them too high, at like $24.99 to $29.99. There's also boots and things on this back wall. I think when it's not really boot season, they will have more purses out. But these were in pretty good condition, and the price was pretty reasonable. So the purses I have been taking out to my booth. Always looking to make sure any zippers, buttons, that kind of thing works. And also that the straps are clean, the bottom is clean, and any inside pockets don't have anything gooey or gross. Yeah, so I'm putting my hands in there and looking around. And yeah, I was pretty okay with those, so I think I ended up getting those. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story because I go toward the front here in the next little bit and I actually start looking at clothes. I did not film a lot of me looking through the clothes, and the reason being is there's a manager that's not usually there on Monday. It's a guy manager, and he was watching me, and I'm sure I will show you. He was standing where the carts usually are, and he was watching like watching and watching, and I had a moment of thinking, oh no, he sees the camera. So what I ended up doing, and I'm sure you'll see it, I'm not sure how long my footage goes, I actually was not looking over at him because I thought, oh, act natural, act natural. And I looked at a few shirts, and I even take one at one point and I hold it up to my chest, covering the camera. And then I think after a little while, he started losing interest and just walked off. I did speak with him when I was going through the register, and he didn't say anything. So I'm not sure if he was not unsure of what he saw. You see him over there to the right in that black shirt. So I think he was noticing that I had my camera. So yeah, funny thing is too, I went through the register. I spent like $67, got everything bagged and wrapped up in shirts, etc. and was putting it in my bags, and then the card reader wasn't working. They tried to reboot the card reader, and it shut down the whole register. I had to literally go to another register, unpack everything, and she had to re-ring everything. So that's a little bit of a pain, because this being my first stop, I want to hurry up and get through here so I can get to the second Savers. But I wasn't late. Thankfully, the traffic was in my favor, so thankfully that worked out pretty good. So I only filmed, in fact, right straight ahead is where the cart area is. So you're going to see him walk over here in a minute. I'm complaining about how tightly packed all the clothes are. There he is right there. See if he comes back, if you catch any of that. Because when my card wasn't going through and they had to reboot the machine, he was very apologetic, and I said, hey, you know, it's okay, it's no big deal, you know, whatever, stuff happens. So, I mean, he was reasonable, and he didn't say anything about, do you have a camera? Because as soon as I saw him looking, and I held the shirt up to me, and he walked off, I went ahead and shut the camera down and zipped up my sweatshirt, because I was like, I don't want to push it, you know? I'm sure a part of them probably wouldn't care if you film in there, but I don't know. I'm sure store policy is such that you shouldn't, but I take my chances. I'm doing it all for you guys, you know. So I haven't seen him walk. He walked back to the right. Let's see, because he ends up being right there where the red bars are, where the carts are parked. But I played it cool. Because worst case, if I can't film at this first place, I will film at the second place. So eventually I hope to do that too, so you can kind of see the layout of the store. I think that store is a little bit bigger than this first one. It seems to be a little bit bigger to me. And of course it's set up differently, so... It's hard to go at a quick pace through these, because you know whenever you see clothes, you got to look over. See him standing there now? So I don't know if he was just standing there, and I noticed him, and I'm like, ooh, is he watching me? So this is when I started taking my time and thinking, I better kind of maybe hide this. Because usually it's, yeah, see, I'm kind of covering the camera. Because there's usually a lady manager that's there. And I've spoke with both of them. I know most of the employees in that. But I was just being careful. See, I'm kind of holding stuff and I'm waiting because I know he's right there. And I end up kind of deciding it's time to close the video down because he's looking. So I was a little bit worried. So I know you're getting a real close up here. So, yeah. See, I was being very careful, so I think I end up shutting it down here in a second because he ended up walking off. I was so worried. Yep. Shut it down. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave this video a thumbs up and a comment, and I will see you next time. Bye.